Yeah, so, this is Marvin Edgar. The same, loudmouth guy, the rear admiral guy, where, him cock up him butt in the ear and take it like a girl. I just let it go. Based on information received and obtained, it's not only, these victims that I'm doing these videos on that Marvin had, scammed, allegedly. Because he's not convicted in a court of law as yet, but the evidence is point that, he had received money. And you can see right here now, this is his way of trying to silence the complainant, allegedly. So he had sent, I don't know how much money, if this is a legitimate liar, because that's the liar's letterhead and stuff, with the letter. Those of you, I'll do a video reading what the letters, the letters that he had sent to one of the victims. Yeah, cease-and-desist letter. This is a way of, telling the victim to shut your mouth, and instead of him returning her money. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, imagine sending $50,000 to someone as an investment. Months later, instead of finding yourself in a courtroom over the investment itself, you receive a cease and desist letter from that person's attorneys. What happened? Does the letter answer the central question, or does it simply begin another chapter in the dispute? Today we are going to examine the documents that have been made public to us, distinguish allegations from evidence, and ask whether the issue at the heart of this disagreement have been resolved. Our goal is not to convict anyone in the court of public opinion, but examine the facts that are available and encourage transparency from everyone involved. We have made it clear on the Jamaica Young Police channel that those who know Marvin Edgar, I know that he has watched the video. Man can come and join the Jamaica Young Police channel and tell us what has happened. Tell us his side of story. Because he's a big mouth, and most people watching the video are saying, lock him up. Yeah, so if you want Marvin to go to jail, if you want him to go to jail for this woman, just type, lock him up. Everyone will say, lock him up, lock up Marvin, and type where you're watching this video from. Because, over here we don't like people who are dishonest. We don't like thieves. We don't like criminals, people who violate other people's rights. Because my rights is my rights, and I want you to respect my rights. Don't try to intimidate me. Try to bully me after you take my things. That's not right, and that is what Marvin Edgar has done. But he has shown scant or little regard for the rule of law. And the reason why he's behaving like that is because he feels that he has immunity from prosecution. Here's a man who is in the crosshairs of the FBI. And I can tell you that they're going to squeeze him, the FBI. And what he's running, it's literally a scam. Big time. I know that when the Jamaican police, get him, they will recover so much evidence from this man. So much evidence they will recover from him, from his computers, phones, and you get names because he's running a scam from Jamaica. And this man is not a good person, Marvin Edgar. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers, and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion, because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yeah, imagine after you sent your money to this, to someone, we're talking Marvin, and then the next thing is that the same person is sending a cease and desist, a legal threat to you, threatening to sue you for defamation of character when they're the one that have your money. You understand what I'm saying? Someone says you invested 50,000 US into a cryptocurrency opportunity. Later a dispute arises. Then instead of seeing the disagreement resolved publicly or in court, a lawyer, cease and desist letter enter the picture. A legal threat to sue the complainant, the customer, with cease and desist. Shut your mouth, don't talk about what happened. In which we're going to show you other things to show you that this was all along a scam. Immediately several questions come to mind. Does a cease and desist letter settle the underlying dispute? No, it doesn't, because I still haven't repaid the woman her money. Does it prove one side is right? Or is it simply a legal demand that reflects one party's position? Today, we are not here to declare anyone guilty or innocent. We are here to examine the publicly available documents, consider the questions that arise, and discuss why transparency matters whenever large sums of money and public trusts are involved. If someone believes that they have been wrong, they have every right to speak with a lawyer. Likewise, if someone believes false statements have damaged their reputation, they also have the right to seek legal advice. The real question is this. Yeah, so the real question is this. What evidence exists? What remains disputed? And how should the public evaluate claims without jumping to conclusions? So let's examine the timeline, the documents and the unanswered questions, and let you decide what conclusion, if any, should be drawn. After you watch this analysis, you're supposed to be able to tell us what do you think, who is the dishonest party here, whether it's, Marvin or this lady, because we're just using the woman with the 50,000 US that she invested with Marvin. But some people are saying, how he was able to scam her out of so much money, what kind of world she live in. But we're not going to judge her, because sometimes when family involved, when you trust family, that is what happened.
I know a place. I'll take you there.
Elegance, the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom Experience, Sunday, July 19, 2026. Featuring Crazy Chris, Master Rye, Welton Irie, DJ VJ Snow. Every song is a video. Classic souls of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A momentous occasion where fashion meets style. The best dressed couple and the best dressed dancer will receive 1,000 US respectively. Isn't that nice? Hors d'oeuvres and wine will be served. Admission 10,000. VIP experience 15,000. The experience begins at 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Part proceeds to the JCF Convalescence Home in St. Elizabeth. This one is gonna be different. I'll definitely be there.
Pause right here, because as a farmer, member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, have to shout out to our servicemen, man. And this is a disclaimer. This video is intended to promote a charitable community event benefiting police officers who are injured in the line of duty. The information presented is based on event organizers' publish promotional materials. Jamaica Young Police Channel is encouraging public awareness and support for these fundraising initiatives. Viewers are encouraged to verify event details and purchase tickets only through the official event website. And you can see the official website right there. You see it, you look to the right, or you can just scan. Yeah man, just use your phone and scan it and buy your ticket right there. That's how technology works. You can see, at the Jamaica, I'm imploring you to support this event. It would be on July 19th, 2026 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Yeah man, and the starting time is 8 p.m. till 12 a.m. Or you can say 12 noon because it's going to be an extraordinary event. So the reason why I'm asking you to support it, because, members of the Jamaica Young Police Channel who have been with the channel, and we know so the goldfish them gone already. That's why we have it right here, we understand. Everyday police officers in Jamaica put on a uniform knowing they may never return home the same way they left. Some suffer life-changing injuries while protecting complete strangers. When those officers can no longer serve because they were injured in the line of duty, they deserve to know what the community they serve has not forgotten them. That is why this event matters. Elegance, the ballroom experience, is more than an evening of music, dancing and fellowship. It is an opportunity to give back to men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who sacrifice their health while protecting others. Your ticket is more than admission to a wonderful evening. It is an investment in gratitude, compassion, and support for injured officers and their families. Whether you attend with your spouse, your friends, or your colleagues, your presence helps send a powerful message. We appreciate those who serve and sacrifice. If you cannot attend, please consider sharing this event with your family, friends, churches, businesses, and community groups. Every ticket sold help this worthy cause. You can buy the ticket and give it to two of your friend or family back in Jamaica. Even if you're not Jamaican and you're listening and you can afford it, just buy it, because buy 2 tickets and they will pass it on to someone who who can attend the event in your space. So remember, the event date, July 19, 2026, time 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Venue, Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, Kingston, Jamaica. So purchase a ticket online. And you see the link, it's https://touchstoneLink.com/elegance-the-ballroom-experience/. So let's come together for an unforgettable evening while making a meaningful difference in the lives of officers injured in the line of duty. Thanks for your generosity, your support, for standing with those who have stood for all of us. So we'll continue the journey, listen to this man, sharing his 2 cents about Jamaica and the hurricane relief money. You watch, you listen, and you decide. So moving on. Yeah, so, every year thousands of his investment disputes occur around the world. Some are resolved quietly between the parties. Others end up in court. A few become public because they involve significant sums of money, conflicting accounts, and questions that attract widespread public interest. This is one of those stories. Based on the documents that have been made public, this dispute involved US $50,000 payment allegations surrounding a cryptocurrency investment and a subsequent cease-and-desist letter sent on behalf of Marvin Edgar. Regardless of which side ultimately proves correct, this case highlights something every investor should understand. Trust is one of the most valuable currencies in any investment relationship. Money can be earned again. Reputations can sometimes be rebuilt, but once trust is lost, rebuilding it is often the hardest task of all. So based on what is happening with this case, only a fool would believe Marvin Edgar, because Marvin Edgar is a notorious scammer. I will say that without any apologies. They even said that the guy from UIC, before Marvin become a PMP, Marvin allegedly scammed the guy from UIC to Mr. Patterson. You know, I'm supposed to talk to somebody who have intimate knowledge of that too. So Marvin is a prolific scammer. He always scam all the guy from UIC and then in turn and become a PMP. A real, you know, opportunist and criminal. But Marvin knew that for him to gain stardom on the internet and become a voice in a Jamaica, you have to just be an anti-police. Once you go against the police, winning farming that. We all know that. That's why the artists them, if you notice the artists them were successful in a Jamaican music, I want them to preach to the people them about informer and the informer for dead and police are this and that and them thing. The artists them with the positive music, no. People don't want to hear that. Because Jamaican mind is wired differently. That's why we have so many criminals in our midst. So today's presentation is not intended to determine guilt or innocence. That is not our role. No, that is not my role here. But I can call them, you know what I'm saying, based on the evidence that I have seen, you know, that as an investigator I would effect an arrest. Instead, we will examine available documents, discuss what they appear to show, identify the issues that remain disputed, and encourage viewers to evaluate the evidence carefully. When substantial amount of money are involved, transparency, documentation, and accountability become important, not just for the people directly involved, but for anyone considering similar investment. So let's walk through the timeline using the documents that have been made public. According to the materials available, a payment of 50,000 US was made. The payment documents include an official check dated December 12, 2024, payable to Marvin, Adrian, Edgar. Those documents are part of the publicly discussed dispute. Following that transaction, a disagreement arose regarding the investment. The precise details of the disagreement are contested by the parties. At some point thereafter, the dispute moved beyond private communications and became the subject of public discussion. On April 10, 2025, attorneys acting on behalf of Marvin, Adrian, Edgar issued a cease-and-desist letter addressed to the woman involved. The letter alleged that she made false and defamatory statements concerning him and demand that those statements cease. The thing is that now the woman a complained to she want back her money, and Marvin, Rita, and Booth and the others that were involved, yeah, you know, that are Kirk Booth, that she want back her money. All they have to do is give it, return the money to her. Rita Barnes is she's in a relationship with the lady's nephew. So Rita Barnes want to find this woman. All Marvin had to do, you understand? Yes, our Kurt Booth, I'm sorry. You know, just contact us at the Jamaica Young Police Channel then. And we give her address where you can send the woman check to. Send her money. You say you send it and them thing. She don't want a piece, she want back her 50 grand. Are you an NID, you know, you are in a workhouse, you know. And then there are others. That subsequent behavior of Marvin and his acolytes trying to silence this woman because she want the public to know who he is and to expose him, you know, to show that this man has no character, no credibility, no integrity, no decency, no honesty or truth in him. because he have been going around in Jamaica as if he is above board, threatening the government, the police, inciting violence against our police officers in Jamaica, want to see them dead. And I just hope the police them can act on what this man have been saying, in a legal way, arrest and charge him. And not only that, even the lottery department that investigate lottery, them need for that apartheid too, because they're gonna receive a treasure trove of information about this man. You understand? The sequence of payment that dispute public statements and a legal demand is supported by the documents that have been shared publicly. What happened between those events and whether each party's account is accurate remains a matter of dispute. So what the cease and desist letter says, many people hear the word cease and desist and assume they mean someone has already won. No, it doesn't work like that. That is not what such a letter does. A cease and desist letter is a formal legal demand. It communicates the sender's legal position and may request that certain conduct stop. It often asserts that statements are false, defamatory, or otherwise unlawful. In this instance, the letter alleges that defamatory statements were made regarding Marvin Edgar in connection with cryptocurrency investment. It requests that those statements cease. Importantly, the letter itself does not determine whether the allegations it contains are true. It is a court judgment, and it is not a finding of liability. It represents one side's position in the dispute. If litigation were to occur, evidence from both sides would ordinarily be examined before any legal conclusions could be reached. That distinction matters because public discussion should not confuse legal allegations with established facts. The documents raise several questions that reasonable viewers may ask. What do the payment documents show about the transfer of funds? What was the intended purpose of the payment? Were there written agreements setting out the terms of the investment? If so, what obligations did each party understand they had? What communications took place after the payment? Have all the relevant emails, messages, contracts, or records been made public? Have both parties had a full opportunity to explain their respective positions? These are not questions intended to accuse anyone. They are the kinds of questions that help people understand dispute without assuming an outcome. When evaluating any investment disagreement, careful examination of records is more reliable than speculation and emotions. Transparency protects everyone. That's why we say transparency matter. And we always say documents always prove liars to be liars. Investors benefit from clear documentation of what they are agreeing to. Those receiving investments benefits from keeping accurate records and communicating openly. Written documents and agreements reduce misunderstanding by setting out expectations in advance. Clear communication can often prevent disagreement from escalating. And accountability helps maintain confidence whenever money is entrusted to another person. Whether the dispute ultimately favor one side or the other, these principles remain valuable lessons for anyone involved in financial transactions. Social media allow disputes to spread rapidly. People often form opinions after seeing only part of the story. Legal proceedings, however, are designed to examine evidence, hear both sides, and apply the relevant law. That is why viewers should be careful not to equate allegations with proven facts. Public commentary has its place, but it should be informed by evidence and fairness rather than assumptions or emotions. If additional evidence become available, responsible observers should be willing to reassess their views in light of that information. There are practical lessons that anyone can take from this case, regardless of how the dispute is ultimately resolved. Keep copies of payment records. Document the purpose of large transfer of money. Use written agreements whether significant investment are involved. Understand the risk associated with cryptocurrency and other speculative investments. Seek independent legal or financial advice before committing substantial sum. Do not rely solely on social media or personal endorsement when making investments decision. Good documentation can protect both investors and those receiving investments. This dispute reminds us that financial disagreement can become public and emotionally charged. The documents available provide part of the picture, but they do not by themselves answer every question. Reasonable people may not want to believe the truth because they like someone, but as we say, it's not always right, but what is right? Reasonable people may reach different conclusions based on the evidence that is currently available. We know that people can't think, and you see it for yourself. The check is in his name. He had received it, cashed it, transferred some from his account, and sent it to Georgia. As viewers, our responsibility is to evaluate documents carefully, distinguish allegations from established facts, remain open to new information, and avoid rushing to conclusions before all relevant evidence has been considered. Whatever the eventual outcome, the principles of transparency, accountability, and fairness remain essential whenever trust and significant sum of money are involved. So I will say before and will say again, always remember, when it come on to money is a thing where people are bad minded. You see people are thief, people are scammers. Scammers know if you say the right things to people and say the things that the people want to hear. He just said, oh, she just get up. And another thing, we can't tell you this. Over here at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we have people that at times, we have some loyal viewers and subscribers, and some of these people, they are members of the Patreon squad, top tier. At times, especially, at times, you have some members of the squad, them do various things, and that's what keeps us going. As we said before, and we say again, and those of you who have been following the channel, if we were 24/7 YouTuber, we'd be living under the bridge, because YouTube makes sure of that. So, if you have reached this far, just remember that it says, the truth matters. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police channel out.